Risk of Rain 2 is a very special game. Now, those of you who are familiar with playing rogue-lites or rogue-likes, or even just rogue in general, will be kind of familiar with this concept, but for those of you who aren't, here's a simple introduction. Here's how the game will almost always begin. Oh man. Where are all the enemies? This just looks lovely. I don't get why people think this is so hard. Oh man, there's an enemy. Oh, I'm so scared. This game is so hard, man. Oh, it's so intense.
1 hour later.
Die, die, die! I I am beyond reproach. I have ascended beyond mortality. None shall smite me. I am behold death, reaper of souls, destroyer of worlds.
12 seconds later.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Run, 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 run. No, don't kill me. Don't kill me. No, 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 no. Oh god. Oh god. Everything is terrible. Oh god. They're gonna find me. I gotta hide. I gotta hide. I gotta find a health kit. Please, anything. Please don't let me die. So, for clarity, Risk of Rain 2 is a rogue-lite game, a third-person shooter, in which you basically start off with nothing out of 6 classes that you start off with, 5 of those being unlockable. You just start with the 1. And over the course of the game, 2 things happen. The first thing is, the game will get progressively harder over time, no matter how much you progressed. If you literally just sit there and do nothing in the first stage, you can just wait for it to ratchet up to the highest difficulty without having done anything. So you're incentivized to kind of go more quickly. The other thing that happens is, as you kill enemies, you'll be getting experience points and money. Experience points just make you more powerful, and money can be used to purchase items. What you do with this money is largely up to what spawns and what you want to do. The main thing you're going to want to do, at least for most of the run because they're most abundant, is chests. They vary in size and also quality. The smaller it is, the lower the quality, generally speaking. Some give you a choice of 3 different items. There are shrines around that'll do various functions. Some of them will give you a chance at an item, but it's not guaranteed. Some will make multiple bosses appear. Some will make the boss harder. Other times, they will reorganize your entire inventory to become 1 stack of each rarity. Other ones will give you money in exchange for your health. So, there's a lot that you can do in regards to how your money is spent, in addition to purchasing drones or other sort of assistant machines throughout the world, like turrets. The goal of every stage is to reach the teleporter, activate it, defeat the boss, and then leave the teleporter once it is charged to 100%, which requires standing near it for a set amount of time. Now, keeping this in mind, the sort of difficulty that we have here is variable based on a lot of factors. To be quite frank, a lot of it is based on RNG. If you get bad rolls throughout, then you may end up having a really, really hard time progressing. And it's also based a lot on class and spawns. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong, or right, depending on how you play. What impressed me the most about this is, while I did play the first game, not too much, I did like it, and this game has a lot that they've worked on from the original that is just crazy how they implemented it. Specifically because the first game, Risk of Rain 1, was a 2D platformer shooter with roguelite elements. And it's now a third-person shooter. And I say this because most developers tend to stay within their comfort zone. You know, someone who makes visual novels, for example, is not suddenly going to be creating a battle royale game, at least not usually. So, having them be able to switch to this and still maintain a lot of the core tenets that made up the original game so smoothly is commendable. This is an early access game, and I think that should be made clear if you do decide to go forward in purchasing this. Not all the features are there, not all the content is there, and they're going to be adding this over time. So that's an important distinction I think that needs to be made, because even in its current state, I highly recommend it. It's surprisingly polished for such a early access game. Now, to elaborate earlier when I was talking about what you do in the game in regards to getting chests or getting items, every single item that you get is, for the most part, going to be a buff of some sort. One increases attack speed, one increases movement speed, one gives you a chance to slow down the enemy on hit, others make it possible for you to have an additional jump. The number of items is pretty high, and a lot of them have a lot of pretty good uses. Now, what's cool about this, not that it isn't present in other games, but when you compare it to ones outside of the rogue-lite genre, is all of these items stack seemingly indefinitely, and the number of items that you can hold does not have a cap to it. This means that as long as you keep going, you can get more items no matter what. There's no such thing as your inventory is full for the most part. This can create a lot of rather wacky, if not absolutely insane combinations that can make your build absolutely broken in a good way as you go further in the game. Here's one particular example of a rather interesting and crazy moment that I had later down the line in one of my games. There is a particular item, this one, where if you kill an enemy, phantom daggers will show up where they died, and they will then seek out other enemies and attack them. And if they die from them, they will also spawn these daggers. Any method that you use to kill enemies will spawn them. This can actually create a rather hilarious cascade effect where any weaker enemies will just get killed being in proximity to these things, and then spawn even more, to the point where you can have entire just fleets of daggers killing all the lower level enemies for you and doing a decent amount of damage to higher level ones. Now, in particular, this can chain together with a lot of other more useful items. Some of them will have electricity fly out from enemies if you hit them. That's going to be the ukulele. There's gasoline, which is if you kill an enemy, all surrounding enemies will be lit on fire. Just the number of combinations that you can do to stack these things is endless. One that I found particularly useful when I was playing in that clip I showed you earlier was one where the item Sentient Meat Hook came into play. That's where the item that you have will pull in other enemies towards the one that is hit. And now imagine all of them are close in proximity, you light them all on fire, you get them all shocked, you make all these knives appear, just endless chaos with some of these. Because of the random nature of this, at least in its current state, every single playthrough has the opportunity to be vastly different in regards to your playstyles, and it also varies based on what characters you choose. A very common tactic that you see with the engineer class, for example, is to get the mushroom. Now, this causes it so if you stand still for 2 seconds, a circle around you, a radius of healing, will appear and heal you for a significant amount over time. And the cool thing about the engineer is his turrets all share the same buffs and items that the main character has. So you can stack these, meaning you can set 2 turrets within close proximity to each other and then stand still in between them, and you will get a trifecta of healing. And on harder difficulties, this makes it so unless you're on the absolute hardest difficulty or you're playing over an hour into the game, you're borderline invincible, and you can add more items to increase the benefits of this. And this will vary based on class. Some absolutely rely on items more than other classes. The Artificer, in particular, is one that relies heavily on movement speed and on defenses, specifically because they have very little mobility options, they're very slow, and considering the fact that they have a lot of powerful moves at their disposal, they don't have a ton of health compared to the other classes. Now, there are, as I mentioned, 6 in total, they essentially break down as follows. You have the Commando, who's sort of a all-around sort of character, really good for just basic, well, everything. You know, they have decent attack speed, they have decent damage, they have a mobility option, overall pretty good. Then you have Multi, a robot that has multiple firing modes, as well as the use of multiple items, and a few other sort of tactics that they can use with their switching tools, whether it be their automatic Gatling gun or a sort of bolt sniper, like just a very charged, powerful shot. The Huntress in particular is mainly good for mobility in the sense that their primary and secondary fire can be used while they're sprinting, so you're incentivized to move around as much as possible with that class. The Engineer, as I mentioned before, is highly based on being stationary using utility. Most of their kit involves things that must stand still. The Artificer is one that is, again, primarily based on high damage, crowd control, AoEs. So they're going to be relying on those primarily. And finally, the Mercenary, the edgelord of the group, using only melee attacks and a lot of mobility with their moves, mainly teleporting around and using flash step kind of spammy sword attacks. You know, think Virgil from Devil May Cry, and you'll get a good idea. You know, their attack is literally the epitome of nothing personnel, kid, and they're just a blast, honestly. I mean, a lot of the classes are fun, but it's very interesting since they are, as of right now, the only melee class. I could gush about this game forever because it's very, very good and satisfying single player in regards to what kind of builds that you can do and how you can keep yourself alive. It's constantly a very good challenge, and just how entertainingly broken you can make your builds if you get good rolls is absolutely the most fun that you're looking at for this game. And it's got really good multiplayer. Like, honestly, you can have up to 4-player co-op in this game, and just the sheer kind of combinations that you can have with different classes is nuts. And when it comes to visuals, boss design, and everything else, it's just fantastic. I can rant and rave forever about this. So, in summation, I think you absolutely should go and get this game. It's mechanically sound. It runs great on my system. I mean, it's not the most visually demanding game, but I think it'll run well on most systems, and it works well with both mouse and keyboard and controller. I'm primarily using controllers, but most people I know are going to be sticking to mouse and keyboard for the most part. So either way, you can be fairly competent in both, at least based on what I've been able to see from this. And good news for people who played the first game. You no longer need Hamachi to be able to play multiplayer with people. You can just play with them in-game, no third-party software required. It's fantastic. So, I'm just gonna give you a little bit more footage here, and then just let you see the kind of chaos unfold as we go from this. See you next time.
Pretty fast, the shield.
Pretty fucking fast, yeah. Like when you're not taking hits. Oh boy, milky creepy. That kid. I spent about $4,000 on a med kit.
500 per tick healing, by the way.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Where's the teleporter at? Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay. Let's start it up, yeah.
Yeah. Where is it?
Right here.
Okay.
We're just chilling up there, huh? Oh, never mind. Right here. There is actually an achievement for wow, Hatsy. Oh my god. There is actually an achievement for holding 5 lunar items, by the way, and it gives you a new item, so
Alright.
keep that in mind. Oh my god. Okay, it takes a little while to regen, but once it does, oh my god. Regen's so fast. homeboy might die.
Well, I've got plenty of health fucking
Well,
stations.
Don't help me and you. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know what's being healed for. Oh my god, it's your clones, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Or our clones, rather. Very nice. Oh, Rusty Lockbox! Oh, yeah, monster piece.
It's like sprinting around. Did somebody go
Saw
through
Lenny
the door?
walk by me and his legs were just a blur.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Dune Stratus.
Oh boy. Yeah, so, oh, and an imp overload as well. God damn it. I actually put my turrets up here. Oh,
Impolite's dead.
some kind of damage.
There's a golem over there too.
Replace this with my own. Stay in here where it's safe.
Yeah. Well, this one's about to run out.
Yeah, I have 14 seconds on mine. Uh-oh. Suck, boys! The hardest game of tug of war ever.
Yeah. Well, just be glad they weren't all in the same place, because that gets impossible to get.
Bad monster. Oh my god. If that laser touches you once, you pretty much fucking dead.
Like that.
Oh no.
They took both my turrets as well.
Damn. Okay. Alright, Lenny, me and you, bud. We're running
for
around
his
constantly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot I got Wax Quail. I just fucking
Lenny,
jumped
you better
and
back off
ran
my
miles.
chest.
Oh, another fucking Wax Quail.
I was here first. It's an infusion anyways. I don't give a fuck. God damn it. I mean, I took it, but... I know. Oh! I'm angry.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have any crit yet. It'd be nice to get.
Damn, the unstable Tesla coil is doing work right now.
Yeah, cool.
Radar! Fireworks!
Celebration! It's imps.
Alright, we just have to make sure one of us actually survives this fight, because, yeah, there it is. Oh! Jesus!
Oh my god, I just jumped over the fucking thing. Whatever, I'm just gonna wait here and be a fucking heal bot.
Yeah, just stand still, and then whenever Lenny fuck's up even do it. Whoa! Nice.
All the beetle guards are just running in circles.
Deciding what to order. Jelly bean and cheese pizza. How you eat? Oh, Lenny. God damn it. I saw that from, oh my god.
God, this is so hard to do with 4 wax quails and no double jump. Because if I sprint,
Yeah, that's not very good.
I overshoot it, and if I don't sprint, I can't reach it.
Here, I'll send you a radar.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
where everything is. I literally overshooting these islands by so much I have to land on the blue thing past them.
You won't die by falling in this.
No.
I don't think you would. Not from dying, or not from like falling into the void. You always respawn with like 80% health or 20%. Oh, you're so close. Oh. Oh my god, he's made it. Well, one more jump. Let's see. Alright, I'll let you figure this out. No, please. Fall damage. You don't understand.
Well, I think it understands very well.
Oh, let me die. Broken every bone in your body. Yeah. You thought you were done, and then somebody just comes up and steps on your foot and breaks one of your toe bones. Ah!